didn't fall apart in anger. There was no fire, no loud goodbye, just quiet nights and longer silences and questions we never tried. You used to look at me like safety, like home was something we deserved. But somewhere love got tired of waiting and learned a different word. I kept loving like it was enough. You kept pulling back from the truth. Some lessons only come when love starts breaking you. And this is where love learned to hurt, in the space between your touch and mine, where forever turned into maybe, and hope ran out of time. This is where love learned to hurt, where holding on just made it worse. I didn't know love could feel like this until it taught my heart to hurt. We tried to stay like nothing changed, but pretending took its toll. You held my hand without your heart. I gave you all my soul. Every promise felt like pressure, every kiss a quiet test. And love stopped feeling like a shelter when it felt like less and less. I asked you what you needed, you said I don't know. That was the moment love let go. This is where love learned to hurt, in the words you couldn't say, in the way you stay beside me, but we're already halfway. This is where love learned to hurt, where silence did the worst. I didn't know love could feel like this until it taught my heart to hurt. Maybe love was never meant to carry two hearts afraid to feel. Maybe breaking is the only way we learn what's real. I don't hate you for the ending, I just wish it didn't ache. But loving you was the moment my heart learned what it takes to break. Now I walk through memory softer, not blaming you or me, just holding space for what we were and what we couldn't be. I still believe in love someday, but not the way I did before. Some hearts learn how to open wide only after they've been torn. This is where love learned to hurt, not to punish but to teach, to show me how to lose someone I couldn't reach. This is where love learned to hurt, and though it left me worse at first, it taught me how to love myself before I let my heart get hurt. Some love heals, some love burns, but this is where my heart learned. Learn. You didn't pack your bags in anger, didn't slam the door or cry. You just stopped asking how I was, stopped looking in my eyes. Your love faded in small moments, in pauses I tried to ignore, like you were already halfway gone. standing in my door. I waited for the words to fall, for something sharp, for something loud. But endings don't always announce themselves. Some leave without a sound. Your goodbye was quiet, no shattered glass, no final fight. Just less of you each morning and colder every night. You didn't say you were leaving, but somehow I still knew. The softest goodbyes hurt the most, and yours was quiet too. Was quiet too. You stayed but not completely. Your touch felt borrowed then. You loved me like a memory you weren't sure you wanted to keep. I tried to pull you closer. You smiled and pulled away, and silence filled the space between the words you couldn't say. I asked if we were still okay. You said, I think so, like a lie. Love doesn't end in honesty when it's too tired to try. Your goodbye was quiet, no breaking voice, no tear-stained face, just distance growing wider where love used to stay. You didn't tell me it was over, but your heart already knew. The softest goodbyes hurt the most, and yours was quiet too. Maybe you thought you were protecting me, leaving gently, letting me down slow. But silence leaves too many questions that my heart still doesn't know. I would have survived the truth, I would have faced the pain, but you left me alone to guess where love slipped away. Now I replay the last few moments, looking for the turning point, the second when your love grew tired, when you stopped choosing us. I don't hate you for walking away, I just wish you'd let me see that the end was already written quietly in front of me. Your goodbye was quiet, but it echoes every day in the empty side of my bed, in the things you didn't say. You didn't shout, you didn't break me, you just slowly withdrew. And somehow that hurts more than words, because your goodbye was quiet too. You good, yeah. Some endings scream, but the ones that whisper stay forever. I loved you in the space you never filled. I loved you in the questions you were never brave enough to feel. You said you needed time, I gave you all of mine. While I was standing still, you were already leaving me behind. I told myself your silence meant you were just afraid, but love doesn't feel like guessing every single day. I loved you alone while you were halfway gone. I fought for every moment you had already moved on from. I carried all the weight, every hope, every stone you never noticed. I was breaking 'cause I loved you alone. I memorized your sadness, every scar you wouldn't show. I tried to be your shelter while you cared. One foot out the door, you held my hand in public, but now when it mattered most, you loved the idea of us. I loved you to the bone. I kept asking for your heart, you kept giving me excuses. I should've known by then that loving you meant losing. I loved you alone in rooms we didn't share. I spoke our future out loud while you just stared. I stayed when it hurt, you left without a tone. You never felt the fall because I loved you alone. Maybe loving me felt heavy, maybe staying felt too real, but you let me drown in hoping while you learned how not to feel. I don't blame you for leaving, I just wish you let me know that every time I said we, you only meant me and go. Now I'm learning how to unlearn you, how to breathe without your name, how to stop mistaking silence for love that never came. I still flinch at every memory, still reach for what is gone, but I'm finally seeing clearly I was never weak, just alone. I loved you alone with a heart too open wide. I gave you all my everything while you were already outside. I won't carry that blame anymore, I won't beg, I won't atone. You didn't lose me when you left, you lost me when I loved you alone. One day you'll miss what I gave so freely, but by then I won't be loving alone. The light slips in through half-closed blinds. It finds your side, but you're not there. I reach across without thinking, just to feel the empty air. Your pillow still smells like last night, like something I don't wanna lose. I lie awake with too much space, trying not to think of you. They say that time will fill the distance, but distance isn't just the room. It's every breath I take alone since you left too soon. bigger now, like it's swallowing me whole. Where we once fit perfectly, there's nothing left to hold. I sleep on one side of the silence, leave your place untouched somehow. It's strange how love can disappear and leave the bed so much bigger now. Your hoodie hangs behind the door. I swear it still feels warm. I wrap it tight around my chest, pretending you're the storm. The nights stretch longer than they should. The ceiling knows my name. I count the cracks, the quiet thoughts, the ways I'm not the same. I tell myself I'm learning how to sleep without your sound, but every dream still waits for you to come back around. The bed feels bigger now, too wide for just one heart. I roll away from memories that tear me apart. Ooh, I keep your side just like you left it, like you'll come back somehow. It's cruel how love can leave behind a bed that feels bigger now. Maybe this is how I learn to live with what is gone. Maybe love doesn't disappear, it just sleeps on and on. I never knew how loud absence was until I lay down here with nothing but your shadow and a heart that won't stop missing you. Someday I'll stop reaching in my sleep, stop calling out your name. Someday the nights won't hurt like this, and mornings won't feel the same. But tonight I curl into the quiet, hold the space you left for me, because losing you didn't make me smaller, it just gave the dark more room to breathe. The bed feels bigger now, but I'm learning how to stay, how to lie beside the truth and let the hurting fade. Ooh, one day this space will feel like freedom, not the weight it is somehow. But tonight love's absence echoes in a bed that feels bigger now. I'll learn to fill the space just tonight. We talked about tomorrow like it was promised, like time would bend if we held on tight. Your hand fit mine like it was written, like we never say goodnight. We built a world inside our laughter, made plans we never got to keep. I didn't know that loving you would end in something so incomplete. I saw forever in your eyes, you saw it too, just not with me. We were almost forever, so close it hurts to breathe. One step from everything we wanted to be. We had the love, we had the fire, we had the truth, but not the timing to survive it. We're almost forever, and almost is what's left of me. You started pulling back in pieces, not enough for me to run, just enough to make me question if I was the only one. I held on tighter to the dream while you learned how to let go. We were standing in the same place, but loving in different roles. You stopped saying when we grow old, started saying maybe someday. That's when I knew forever was slipping away. We were almost forever, so close it hurts to breathe. One step from everything we wanted to be. We had the love, we had the fire, we had the truth, but not the timing to survive. We were almost forever, and almost is what's left of me. I don't hate you for choosing yourself, I just wish it didn't cost us this. I would have fought through every storm if you just said you still believe. But you left quietly with I don't know, and I stayed with what if we. Sometimes love doesn't fall apart, it just stops choosing we. Now I pass the places we once claimed, like they belong to someone new. Every memory feels unfinished because it still ends with you. I'm learning how to hold the ache without letting it define, but almost loving you forever still feels like losing time. We were almost forever, a future we could almost touch. I gave you everything I had, you loved me almost enough. And though I'll heal in love again, some part of me will always be the one who believed in us when we were almost forever. Some loves last a lifetime, ours lasted just long enough to feel like forever. It wasn't one big moment, no door you slammed in my face. You just stopped showing up for us in small, invisible ways. Your text grew shorter than your distance, your eyes stopped looking for mine. I stayed and fought for something you'd already left behind. I kept telling myself love just needed time, but love doesn't feel like waiting to be someone's second line. You stopped choosing me when loving me became mature, when staying felt like settling and leaving felt like more. your space. I softened every part of me just to keep you in my days. You said you needed room to breathe. I gave you air, I gave you trust, but you built a life without me and called it doing what you must. I asked you if you still love me. You said I don't know, and that was all the answer I needed to let go. You stopped choosing me long before goodbye was said. You chose the quiet over truth, the space between our beds. I held on through uncertainty. You walked away to feel free. It wasn't fate that ended us. You stopped choosing me. Maybe loving me felt heavy, maybe staying scared you more. But love is something you decide again and again at its core. I would have stayed through broken days if you just stayed honest too. But you can't build forever with someone who won't choose you. Now I'm learning how to stand alone without shrinking who I am. I'm choosing myself in ways you never could or can. And though it hurts to say out loud the truth I couldn't see, I didn't lose you to someone else. You lost me when you stopped choosing me. Oh, you stopped choosing me, and I finally chose myself. I stopped waiting for your love on someone else's shelf. I still miss what we almost were, but I'm learning how to be free. Because love isn't something you wait for, it's something you choose every day. And someday someone will choose me without hesitation. I gave you more than I had to give, more than my heart could afford. I stayed when leaving would have saved me. You left without a word. I loved you like love was a promise. You loved me like love was a test. I was trying to build a future, you were just passing through at best. I kept asking what went wrong. You said nothing ever did. But love doesn't fade in honesty. It fades in what's not admitted. Love isn't fair. One heart falls, the other isn't there. One stays soft, one stops caring. I fought for us, you fought for air. Don't tell me it was meant to end. You didn't lose, but I still did. Love isn't fair, and somehow I'm the one who cares. You said you needed space to breathe. I gave you all of mine. I learned how to live around your doubts and still call it love each time. You slept easy in your freedom. I stayed awake with all the weight. Some hearts break from being lonely, some break from waiting too late. I asked you if you still felt us. You said maybe soft and slow. That's when I knew love had left long before you let me go. Love isn't fair. One heart bleeds, the other's unaware. One holds on, one disappears. I beg for truth, you chose repair for yourself, not what we shared. Love isn't fair, and I paid for loving more than you did. Maybe love was never equal, maybe that's what broke us down. I was building something solid, you were scared of settling down. I don't hate you for choosing you, I just wish you would let me know that loving you would cost me everything I didn't know. Now I'm standing in the quiet where your promises once stood, trying to forgive myself for believing that you would. I still believe in love someday, just not the way I did back then. Some lessons come wrapped in heartbreak, just to teach us who we are in the end. Love isn't fair, but it shouldn't leave you small. It shouldn't make you question if you mattered at all. I loved you true, I loved you deep. That part I'll always keep. Love isn't fair, but losing you taught me how to love me. Love isn't fair, but I won't beg for it again. Love isn't fair. I hear your name in crowded places, in conversations I don't choose. It falls so casual from their mouths, but it hits me like bad news. I try to smile, pretend I'm fine, like time erased the worst parts first. But every time I hear your name, it proves I'm not rehearsed. They say it's just a word, just a sound, but they don't know how it brings you back around. Your name still hurts, like a bruise I never heal, like a truth I try to bury, but my heart still feels I moved on in all the ways I know how to. But say your name and all the pain comes rushing through. Your name still hurts, and I wish it didn't still mean you. I see your name on passing screens, old messages I should have erased. I tell myself it doesn't matter now, but my chest still feels displaced. I learned how not to say it out loud, how to swallow every sound, but silence doesn't stop the ache when memories come crashing down. I thought forgetting would be simple, just a matter of time, but some names are stitched too deep inside your mind. Your name still hurts, like love that never learned to leave, like a promise that my heart still had believed. I don't miss who you are today, I miss who you were to me. And every time I hear your name, I lose the space I fought to keep. Your name still hurts, and that's the truth I couldn't be. Maybe one day it'll sound like nothing, just let us fall in it. I just want your name to stop feeling like losing you. I'm stronger now than I was back then. I've learned to stand on my own ground. But healing isn't forgetting someone, it's learning how to breathe around the sound. And sometimes strength still shakes a little when the past comes back in view. Not because I still love you, but because I once did too much. Your name still hurts, but it doesn't break me like before. It just reminds me of a love I won't carry anymore. I've grown past us, I really have, but healing isn't clean on me. Your name still hurts, just not enough to pull me back to where we used to be. One day I'll hear your name and feel nothing at all. But tonight, it still hurts. We didn't break loud, there was no scene to replay. No slammed doors, no last words thrown in our way. We just stopped asking questions, stopped reaching for the truth. Love slipped out between the silences while we pretended. I kept waiting for the moment where everything would fall apart. But some endings don't explode, they just wear down the heart. We didn't break loud, we faded in plain sight, still saying I love you while it didn't feel right. No tears in the open, no reason out, just two hearts giving up without making a sound. We didn't break loud, but God, we still broke somehow. You stayed but not completely, your touch was only half there. You held me like a habit, not like someone who still cared. I tried to pull you closer, you smiled and looked away. That's when I felt the distance grow heavier every day. You said nothing was wrong, but your didn't break loud, no thunder, no rain, just quiet good night that didn't feel the same. No shouting, no blame, no words spoken proud, just love learning how to leave without making a sound. We didn't break loud, the silence still echoes now. Maybe you thought leaving softly would hurt me less somehow, but quiet endings leave more questions than 100 spoken vows. I would have faced the truth head on if you just let it be said, but instead you let us disappear inside the words we never read. Now I hear your name in calm moments, and my chest still pulls tight. Not because I want you back, but because we never fought for the light. We let love fade politely, like that made it okay. But there's nothing gentle about watching forever walk away. We didn't break loud, but we shouted all the same. Two people standing inches apart, calling it fate or change. No dramatic ending, no last goodbye out loud. Just love slipping through our fingers without making a sound. We didn't break loud, but I still hear it every time I breathe now. I breathe now. Ooh. Some hearts don't scream when they break, they just go quiet. I stayed when the signs were screaming, when your love grew thin and tired. I stayed when my heart was bleeding, still hoping you light the fire. I told myself love meant patience, the waiting was being strong. But strength shouldn't feel like breaking, and I learned that I stayed too long. I kept forgiving what kept hurting, calling it loyalty somehow. But love shouldn't cost you everything you are. I stayed too long, long past the point you cared. I held on while you let go, pretending you were still there. I made excuses for your distance, I carry what wasn't mine. I stayed too long in a love that left me behind. Oh, I learned your silence is by heart. Every sigh, every pause, I defended you to everyone, even when you gave me none. I shrank myself to fit your world so you wouldn't feel confined. But I lost who I was becoming, trying to make sure you were fine. I thought love meant never leaving, no matter how much it hurt. But love that drains your spirit is the kind you don't deserve. I stayed too long when your touch felt far away, when maybe replaced forever and hope began to decay. I waited for you to choose me, but you'd already crossed the line. I stayed too long in a love that was never really mine. Maybe leaving sooner would have saved me from the scars, but I loved you with everything, even the broken parts. I don't regret the love I gave, only the nights I stayed where I wasn't seen, wasn't chosen, wasn't loved the same. Now I'm learning how to forgive myself for the time I couldn't go, for confusing fear with faith and holding on when I should have known. I'm stronger now for walking away, yeah, even if it came with pain, because leaving taught me what staying never explained. I stayed too long, but I won't stay again. I won't beg to be someone's taught me how to lead and finally choose my life. I stayed too long, but I left just in time. I stood there waiting for your courage, for you to say don't walk away. I needed one reason to believe you choose us over fear that day. But you watched me from a distance, like love was someone else's war. I bled while you stayed silent and learned what my heart was fighting for. I gave you every chance to stay, every truth, every open door. But love can't survive on hope alone if one heart's never sure. I was the love you didn't fight for. When things got hard, you let go. I was worth the effort, but you chose the easy road. You said you care, but care doesn't hide. When the cost is pain, I didn't lose you to another, I lost you to your fear and the love you didn't fight for. Said you weren't ready for forever, but forever was never my demand. I just needed you to stand beside me when life shook our plans. I fought through doubt and sleepless nights, through tears I never showed. You stepped back when it mattered most and called it letting go. You mistook love for something fragile, something too heavy to hold. But real love bends and breaks together, it doesn't leave you cold. I was the love you didn't fight for. You dropped your hands and turned away. I stayed and hoped you reached for me, but you never stayed. You said you loved me in your way, but I didn't lose you to the world. I lost you when you didn't choose to fight for me. Maybe you'll love someone braver, someone who won't ask for more. But part of you will always wonder what we could have been if you'd stood your ground and fought that war. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret believing you would too. Some hearts leave quietly, not because love died, but because they never knew how to stay. Now I'm picking up the pieces of a future I believe, learning how to trust my worth in love that's given freely. And though it still hurts to say your name, the truth is finally clear. I deserve someone who would fight to keep me here. I was the love you didn't fight for, but I won't fight alone again. I won't beg someone to choose me when choosing me is love's first demand. You let us fall without a sound, you let it fade, ignored, and someday you'll remember me as the love you didn't fight for. I stayed strong so you wouldn't have to. But love shouldn't be survived by one heart alone. I don't wake up crying anymore. I just wake up alone. Your side of the bed feels ordinary, like it's always been my own. I pass the places we used to love without catching my breath. It's strange how pain can soften when you stop expecting what's left. I used to fight the quiet, beg the night to let me sleep. Now your absence sits beside me like something I've agreed to keep. Missing you feels normal now, like the air I breathe at night. It doesn't knock the wind out of me, it just stays inside. I don't break the way I used to, I don't fall apart somehow. I still miss you, but missing you feels normal now. Your name doesn't stop my heartbeat, it just pulls it slightly slow. I've learned which songs to turn away from, which memories I let go. I don't check my phone like I used to, hoping you reach out. I guess my heart got tired of waiting for a love that never turned around. I thought healing meant forgetting, but forgetting never came. It just taught me how to carry you without screaming your name. Missing you feels normal now, like a bruise that doesn't ache. It's still there if I press too hard, but most days I'm okay. I don't ask what if every night, I don't beg the past to bow. I still miss you, but missing you feels normal now. Sometimes I wonder if you feel it too, this quiet space we grew into. If missing me became routine, like something you just learned to do. I don't hate you for moving on, I just wish it didn't feel so strange that losing you became something I could heal around. I'm learning how to love again, not deeply, just enough. I still flinch when someone says your name, but it doesn't hit as rough. I've stopped hoping for an ending that rewrites who we are. Some loves don't get closure, they just fade into scars. Missing you feels normal now, not heavy, just quietly loud. It doesn't steal the light from days, it just follows me around. I've made peace with what we weren't, I've learned how to move somehow. I still miss you, but missing you feels normal now. I never stopped loving you, I just stopped expecting you to come back. We started like a promise whispered, like something meant to stay a while. Your hand felt safe inside of mine. Your love felt like a fragile smile. We talked about forever lightly, like it wasn't something brave. I didn't know how fast a heart could learn to walk away. I kept believing love was enough, that care would make us strong. But wanting something deeply doesn't mean it lasts that long. It was a love that didn't last, but it felt real when it began. We gave each other all we had, just not what the future planned. I don't regret the nights we shared, or how we tried so hard. It was a love that didn't last, but it still left a mark on my heart. You slowly stopped leaning toward me. I felt the space before you spoke. Your silence carried all the truth your words could never hold. I stayed a little longer than I should. You left a little sooner than I knew. Some endings don't come crashing down, they fade out of view. I asked you if we'd be okay, you said I don't know. That was the moment love learned how to let go. It was a love that didn't last, but it mattered all the same. I still hear echoes of your laugh when someone says your name. I don't blame you for walking away or choosing who you are. It was a love that didn't last, but it still left a scar on my heart. Maybe we meant to learn something, not to stay forever whole. Maybe love was just a lesson that helped us grow. I don't hate you for the ending, I just wish it didn't ache. But loving you taught me something I'll always take. Now I'm learning how to move forward without rewriting what we were. Some memories stay soft and gentle even when they hurt. I don't look back with anger now, just quiet understanding. Some love's coming to your life just to show you what you're missing. It was a love that didn't last, but it shaped me more than most. I loved you in the only way my heart knew best. And though we won't grow old together or finish what we started, it was a love that didn't last, but it's still life somewhere in my heart. Not every love is meant to stay. Some are meant to change you. I kept blaming time for drifting us apart. Told myself love just grows this way. I tried to bend my broken heart to fit the silence in your face. You said nothing was wrong between us, but your eyes stopped looking for mine. And I felt the shift before the ending ever crossed the line. I kept asking what I did wrong. You said nothing soft and rehearsed, but love doesn't disappear like magic. Someone changes first. You changed first, before the fights, before the tears, before the nights I stayed awake, drowning in my fears. I was still choosing you every day. You were already moving on. I didn't fall out of love with you. You changed first and I stayed too long. You stopped asking how I was feeling, stopped sharing what was in your head. Your I love you lost its weight like words you only said. I tried to love you louder, hoping you'd hear me somehow, but you don't fix distance with effort when one heart's already out. I held on to who you used to be. You let go of who we were, and every time I reached for closeness, you grew a little further. You changed first, before goodbye ever arrived, before I had the courage to admit something died. I kept believing we were strong. You were already almost gone. I didn't fall out of love with you. You changed first and I kept holding on. Maybe you didn't mean to hurt me, maybe love just scared you away, but you let me keep believing while your heart was quietly changing shape. I don't hate you for leaving, I just wish you let me see that the moment love started ending was the moment you stopped choosing me. Now I'm learning how to forgive myself for loving you so hard, for mistaking comfort for commitment and ignoring every guard. I see it clearly in the quiet now, without the ache, without the curse. Love didn't fail us both at once. You changed first. Yeah, you changed first and I finally let you go. I stopped chasing who you were and faced what I already knew. I'll heal from this, I really will, but I won't forget the truth. I didn't stop loving you. You changed first and I lost you. Sometimes love doesn't end in flames, it ends the moment one heart changes first. If loving me was hard, you could have said it out loud. Instead you smiled through the distance, like silence would soften the doubt. I gave you all my softness, all the parts I tried to hide, but you held me like a question you were never ready to decide. I kept changing shapes to fit you, calling compromise love, but love shouldn't feel like shrinking just to be enough. If loving me was hard, why did you stay so long? Why let me believe we were still strong? I would have understood the truth, I would have learned to guard my heart, but you let me love you freely while you struggled from the start. If loving me was hard, you should have let me know before I broke myself, trying not to let you go. not in moments that required fight. And I stayed through every shadow, hoping someday you'd choose the light. I told myself patience was strength, the way to man believe. But fate shouldn't feel like begging someone to choose me. If loving me was hard, why did you hold my hand? Why say forever softly? If you never had a plan, I would've faced the truth with tears, but I would've healed by now. Instead I'm picking up the pieces of the promises you allowed. Maybe I asked for too much closeness, maybe you needed space, but love shouldn't make you question if your heart is out of place. I don't regret the love I gave, only the parts I ignored. Like how you stayed without choosing me and left without closing the door. Now I'm learning how to love myself without apologizing first, without wondering if my feelings are a blessing or a curse. I'm done confusing never with affection, silence with being kind. If loving me is hard for you, then loving you is harder on my mind. If loving me was hard, I wish you'd let me see. I would've walked away sooner and saved what was left of me. I deserve the love that stayed with ease, not one built on doubt and fear. If loving me was hard, then staying with you was what broke me here. I'm not too much, it was just loving someone who couldn't love me back the same way. We talked like nothing was ending, like this was just another night. You asked me how my day had been, I said I'm fine, and didn't fight. Your voice was calm, a little distant, like you were somewhere else inside. And I didn't know I was listening to the last time you'd call me mine. I replay every second slowly, every pause we didn't fill. Funny how the loudest endings happen when everything is still. That was our last conversation, no tears, no shattered truth, just ordinary sentences that didn't feel brand new. We didn't say goodbye forever, didn't say we were done, but somehow in that quiet moment I felt us come undone. You laughed at something I said softly, like habit hadn't learned to leave. I smiled back like I always did, pretending I didn't feel the shift in me. We talked about the weather changing, about plans we never named, and all the things we didn't say said more than anything we claimed. I waited for you to say something, anything that meant don't go. But love doesn't always end with truth, sometimes it just lets go. That was our last conversation, nothing heavy, nothing cruel, just words that sounded harmless but landed like they knew. We kept it light, we kept it simple, like breaking wasn't allowed. But hearts don't fall apart without a sound. I wonder if you knew it too, that this was where we'd end. If you felt the way my chest went quiet while I still called you my friend. I wish I'd said something honest, something brave, something true, but I didn't want our last conversation to be the moment I lost you. Now I replay it when I'm lonely. You take care still feels unclear. You didn't sound like someone leaving, just someone already gone from here. And every word feels heavier now, knowing what I didn't say, because some conversations don't feel final until they're all you have left to play. That was our last conversation. No closure, no goodbye, just two people pretending they didn't hear the end inside. We didn't fight, we didn't shatter, we just slowly drifted through. And now every quiet moment sounds like our last conversation with you. I would have said more then. Okay? I thought love would wait for me. I thought time was on our side. I didn't see the cracks between the words I left behind. I was so sure you'd always stay, so sure you understood. I never thought my silence would be what I used to lose you. I kept saying not right now, like love it endless days, but hearts don't pause forever just because we're afraid. I never meant to lose you, I just didn't know how to hold you right. I loved you in the ways I could, but not in the ways you needed at the time. If I could go back to those moments, I'd choose you. Every truth, every bruise, I never meant to lose you. I just didn't know I already was. You asked for more than words, I answered with delay. You reached for reassurance, I said someday. I didn't mean to make you doubt if you were ever enough, but loving someone halfway still hurts just as much. I see it now in hindsight. Every chance I let slip through, I was holding on to comfort while you were fighting for us too. I never meant to lose you, I thought love would understand. I should have known. I hear your name in quiet places, wonder if you've learned to heal. I hope someone loves you loudly now, in the ways I failed to feel. And though I can't undo the past or change what we went through, I still need you to know one thing, even if it's too late for you. I never meant to lose you, I just didn't know love was a choice. I thought staying silent was safer than finding my voice. If regret could bring you back, I'd spend my life proving it's true. I never meant to lose you, but losing you taught me how deeply I loved you. Some lessons come too late, and some loves leave before we learn how to stay. I've learned how to smile in public, how to laugh like I'm okay. But there are pieces of you in my pockets I never threw away. I packed up all the photographs, put the past back on the shelf. But love doesn't leave your body just because you tell it to help itself. I don't talk about you anymore, I don't say your name out loud, but some things live beneath the surface, where silence is allowed. I still carry you, not the pain, not the fight, just the way you felt like home on the hardest nights. I don't hold you like a promise, I don't wish you'd stay somehow. I've learned to walk without you, but I still carry you now. I see you in small moments, in songs I didn't choose, in the way my heart still softens at things I learned from you. You're not a weight upon my shoulders, not a chain around my feet. You're just a quiet memory I carry when I need to breathe. They say time erases everything, but that's not what it does. It teaches you how to move forward without forgetting who you love. I still carry you like a scar that doesn't ache, like a lesson learned in loving, and the risks I still take. Oh, I don't reach for you in the dark, I don't ask the past how I've made peace with what we were, but I still carry you now. Maybe loving you changed me forever, maybe that's not such a bad thing. You taught me how to feel deeply, how to lose and still believe. I won't apologize for the way I loved, or the space you left in me. Some hearts don't forget, they just learn how to carry things gently. I'm stronger than I was back then, I stand where I once fell apart, but I wouldn't be who I am now without you crossing my heart. I don't need you to come back, I don't need closure somehow. Some love stays without asking, and that's enough for now. beside you for the rest of the way. I keep asking myself in the silence if I imagine the way we felt, if the nights and the promises were just stories I told myself. But I remember how you looked at me when you thought I wasn't aware. That kind of love doesn't come from nowhere, it doesn't grow from air. I won't let doubt rewrite our history or turn my heart into a lie. What we had was something living, even if it had to die. Loving you was real, even if it didn't stay, even if you walked away. And I'm the one who still feels the weight. I gave you love without conditions, without pretending, without fear. You may not be here anymore. Loving you was real. I see people try to comfort me, say if it ended it wasn't true. But love isn't measured by forever, it's measured by what it does to you. You changed me in the quiet moments, in the way I learned to care. I became softer, deeper, braver, because at one time you were there. I won't erase the good to survive the pain, or pretend it didn't mean a thing. Some loves don't last a lifetime, but they still change everything. Loving you was real, even when it broke my heart, even when we fell apart and couldn't finish what we started. I don't regret a single moment, not a tear, not a year. You may not love me anymore, but loving you was real. Maybe we weren't meant to make it, maybe timing pulled us apart, but loving you taught me how deeply a heart can open before it scars. I won't shame myself for believing, for staying true to how I feel. I'd rather hurt knowing I loved honestly than numb myself to what was real. Now I'm learning how to carry on without rewriting who we were, letting love exist as memory, not a question or a blur. And when I look back on our story, I won't focus on the end. I'll remember how it felt to love you before the world came crashing in. Loving you was real, not a mistake, not a phase. It was truth in its purest form, in a complicated place. And even if we never speak again, even if you never feel, I'll always stand by this one thing. Loving you was real. Some loves don't last forever, but that doesn't make them any less feels real. We don't need another conversation. We said enough without the sound. All the words we never finished are just echoes now. You're standing right in front of me, but it feels like we're miles apart. Funny how two people can be so close and still be breaking their own hearts. I used to think endings were loud, that love would scream before it's gone. But this feels softer, like we both knew it's been over all along. So this is how we end. No anger, no fight, just two tired hearts letting go in the same quiet night. No promises left to defend, no reasons to pretend. If loving each other means leaving, then this is how we end. I see it in the way you hesitate, like you're afraid to say my name. Your touch doesn't reach my soul anymore. It just reminds me things have changed. We try to hold on to the memory of who we used to be, but love can't live forever in a place where it's not free. I kept hoping we'd circle back, find a way to where we were, but you can't fix a feeling that no longer feels sure. So this is how we end. No tears falling fast, just a final understanding that the future isn't the past. We don't hate, we don't defend, we just stop where we began. If staying means losing ourselves, then this is how we end. Oh, I don't regret the love I gave you, or the nights I chose to stay. I just wish love didn't have to fade so quietly this way. But maybe ending gently is the kindest thing we do, because forcing love to breathe only hurts me and you. I'll take the good and leave the pain. I'll carry what was real. You were more than just a moment, you were something I could feel. And when I look back at us someday, I won't see failure or blame. I'll see two people brave enough to stop pretending love's the same. So this is how we end. With respect, not regret. With the love that meant something, even if we couldn't protect it. No more trying to pretend, no more breaking to bend. If loving you means letting go, then this is how we end. Some endings aren't tragedies, they're just love. Choose